Good afternoon, ladies and gents. May I have a show of hands? How many of you have actually been to an orchestra concert? All right. Second question. How many of you think that the orchestra would have sounded just as great had they not tuned their instruments prior to the performance? I didn't think so. Alrighty. Well, that's what this is going to be about today. Tuning is actually an integral part of any musical performance. If you're a musician, you know that that is the foundation on which you build your house, so to speak. Today what I'm going to actually show you is how to tune a cello. There are three main parts to tuning a cello. That is, the first one being, how are you going to tune? Are you going to tune with your pegs, which are these up here, your fine tuners, which are these down here? That's your first thing. Second thing, what's your tuning source? Are you going to tune with a chromatic tuner? Are you going to tune with a piano, which is an acoustic chromatic tuner, going up in steps? Until you get to the same note. That's what we're going to do today. For this purpose specifically, we're going to use a piano. The last thing is, you have to be using a bow. It is absolutely imperative that you use a bow when tuning a stringed instrument such as a cello, a double bass, a violin, or viola, because what happens, and mind this is out of tune, you get a slightly different pitch when you pluck the string as you do when you're using your bow. You'll get a sort of kind of sound. You'll have one pitch and then another one shortly thereafter, and that can definitely distort your tuning abilities if you're plucking. So you'll have something like this, and it doesn't sound very loud unless you know what you're looking for, but it is very important even to the untrained ear. So without further ado, let's start. Now, as I said, I was going to show you when to use your pegs up here and your fine tuners. I believe this is the C I need for my lowest string, C. That's what I need. Now what I have is this. That's obviously not what I need. Fine tuners are just that. They're used for very fine differences in tuning. So if you have this and you need this, you might use your fine tuner, whereas if you have this and you need this, definitely use your pegs. Those are for bigger improvements. When you're using fine tuners, you tune clockwise for a higher pitch, this as opposed to this, or if you want to go from this to this, clockwise you go to a higher pitch, and counterclockwise you go down. Whereas with the peg, clockwise would be for a lower pitch, and in very small increments you use the peg, or else you could either bust your string or end up really loose and have to restring. And then going counterclockwise, you get a higher pitch. Finally, the bow. You have to know that when you're placing it, you want the bow to be the same line parallel to this bridge here. You want this line and this line all to be together. That should be quite straight from there. So you get a more, ooh, that's really loose, forgive that. You get a stronger sound, and that's obviously going to sound terrible right now. But let's try and tune. I'm going to go ahead and use the peg because I need a bigger adjustment here. This is what I need. I have this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn counterclockwise in a very small increment, pushing in slightly so that the peg does not come out, or else it'll turn on its own. And you press again for your note. Up. We'll need to do this again. And from there, what can we use? Our fine tuner. We're going to go clockwise, just a bit. And I'm going to go about 2 circles up. You just adjust this as you go, knowing that if you need a smaller increment, you turn less, and if you need more, you turn more. much closer. And there we have our C. And you would go through the same steps for the G. Down a bit. And so on. That, ladies and gents, is how you tune a cello. So do remember, again, when you're coming up and you're trying to tune your cello, you're going to check first your tuning source. You're going to check whether or not you need to use your pegs and whether or not you need to use your fine tuners, and you're always going to place your bow flat on the string and parallel to your bridge.